justice for all.
Okay, next, any changes to the agenda?
No change to the this time.
Okay, thank you. Third, Energize the World. We have a student showcase.
My name is Teresa Henderson, and I'm the principal at the Early Learning Center, and I'm excited to show this student showcase this month because it is the student employees that are at the ELC. In partnering with Miss Tracy Davidson, who's at the Nelson County High School, these students have had the opportunity of being at the ELC working on their Child Development Associates credentials or their Commonwealth Child Care Credential certificates, or even just their pediatric abuse of head trauma and orientation training in order to lead them through and have them career ready in early childhood education.
In the classroom, you are taught the fundamentals. You're taught really what you should do and shouldn't do. But being in an early childhood education setting is completely different. They are able to take what they were taught in the classroom and really apply it, but then also understand themselves. That's one thing of saying in the classroom, this is what I would do, but then seeing what are the students really applying. And it's been beautiful seeing that they're going to be able to take these experiences that they have here at the ELC with them for life, either into parenthood or into education.
Our ideal would be that they learn by the models of the teachers that are in the classroom how to appropriately engage with the students, able to communicate well with the students, teach the students how to communicate well with others, and just that well-roundedness of how they even deal with other students.
I really enjoy being with the children, and you really grow in that environment and create really good relationships with the people that are around you. They're so great, and they're all different. Like, you think that you wouldn't really get to know them very well, but they got big personalities for 3-year-olds. You would have like kids. If I'm not there one day, I'm like, I really miss them. Like, I love to see how much they've grown since the first time I met them, because whenever I first met them, they were very closed off, I guess. But now, even though it's only October, I've already seen how much they've grown. So I can't wait to see how they are at the end of the year. I think that work-based learning is a really good experience, especially for someone who's still in high school, because you do have the opportunity to go and get that experience through Henderson and the Early Learning Center. I love that our school is like encouraging us to get out in the community and like do different things, and you get a lot of experience in what you think you might want to do, and doing it now instead of wasting money in college, because you could study in college and not even like it, and you just wasted all that money doing those classes when you could figure it out now if you like it or not. I definitely like even like writing my resume for like my new job that I want. Like, we have so many more people to push you into being an adult. I'm gonna have so many more people to be like, yeah, like, she's a great worker. It's definitely worth it. You learn so many things that you didn't realize you were gonna learn. Like the way the kids' brains work, it's something new every day, and it's so entertaining, and it's just so much fun to watch the kids grow.
It's really fun to see them go from being really shy and not knowing how to talk to the children, or feeling funny reading the books to the children and things like that. Every time you're able to see that they're doing well and give them encouragement, they push themselves even more, to where by the even a couple of months into it, they are so at ease working with the children.
Our high school students here are phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. They have been trained very well, and they step right into the classroom, and they have just
what their great things were. You know, the big personality, as the one student was saying. I'd be curious about what's the biggest challenge they found. You know, with working with 3-year-olds, or maybe is there why that they have a younger sibling and they don't see it as a challenge at all because they see the same thing every day at home.
I think they have a unique opportunity to really start understanding themselves in this position. I think I see that the most as their challenge, of when they're either reacting to a student or trying to understand a 3 and 4-year-old and what's developmentally appropriate. I see that as a challenge in itself because they have to understand themselves first before they can approach and teach somebody else.
Take a special person at that age.
Okay, thank you. Next on our agenda is the Workforce Development Quarterly Ignite, and that would be Ms. Laura.
And something I'll add to the video, I think a couple of those students that were highlighted in that video are actually a part of our apprenticeship program. So when we talk about work-based learning and early college experiences and a student being able to get both of those, that's a great example because we are being their post-secondary provider through the apprenticeship model. So it'll be neat to watch those high school students to continue to grow and develop along with those early learning center kiddos. So tonight I want to start with a picture that you see on our Workforce Development Board Ignite, and I just want to give you some background to this picture. So in this picture you see Nika Mathis, and she's the individual facing us, and she works with Mago Construction. I think she's a vice president there. And then you see some of our students engaged in conversation with Nika. So I bring up this picture because this time last year, I think we had the room full of employers where we were getting ready to kick off the teacher externship experience, and Mago was one of our pioneers that joined along with us on this experience. And a couple of weeks ago, Bloomfield Elementary School went to Mago, and they didn't just go there for a visit or a tour. The students were actually there presenting and researching and sharing with Mago on what it could look like to build a nature trail or a little hiking area around the Bloomfield Elementary area. So I just wanted to bring this out because tomorrow we will be embarking on year 2 of the teacher externship program, and we have some teachers going along with us on that. But in addition to teachers, I think we're going to have 100 and some students actually going on a road construction site tomorrow. So I'm a little nervous, but hopefully the weather's going to be good and they'll stay away from the traffic. But we're going to have kids going to RAM Contracting tomorrow, Mago, and then the Boston Training Center. So just kind of wanted to start off just kind of reflecting on this picture and bringing up how we're moving forward with year 2 of the externship. And as we think about work-based learning, we think about early college externship experiences, we know that community partners are critical, and that as educators, we can't do these things alone. I think that's kind of been our theme, that together we can provide the right kinds of experiences for students. And one of the reasons that we've been able to move forward with some of our work this past year has been our partnership with the Bardstown-Nelson County Chamber. And we have a great partner in the chamber. We have several employers that have been engaged in the chamber. I think the employer base through the chamber is growing. And part of that is due to their leadership with Samantha Brady. And we have Samantha here tonight. I don't think she really knows why she's here. That's why I kind of acknowledged her. I didn't even really acknowledge her before we started because I didn't want to have to lie. So I think it was last month, Samantha was recognized by the executive directors of all the Kentucky chambers, and Samantha was recognized as the executive director of the year. So when we visited with the chamber, we've given NC t-shirts, I Heart NC picture frames, and I think maybe even a tumbler. So we're like, how do we honor and celebrate partners like Samantha? So we thought we have Brett Phelps, who is our workforce development student leader, and Brett has a gift of creating videos, if you've seen some of those. So we're going to take a few minutes to recognize and thank Samantha for her work, and Brett prepared this video for you.
The award that Samantha received is the Chamber Professional of the Year, and is for a person that works in the chamber profession that has just showed true leadership and true commitment to her community. Congratulations, Samantha, on Chamber Professional of the Year.
Congratulations, Samantha, on winning Chamber Professional of the Year.
Our chamber in Bardstown is one of the best in all around. It does so much for our community and for our students as well. Thank you and congratulations.
I am so happy for you, Samantha. You deserve the award, and congratulations.
She's passionate, she's friendly, she is driven, and I think we're going to expect great things from her going forward. She's done amazing things, and congratulations on the Kentucky Chamber of Commerce Executive of the Year.
And I know some of our work has moved forward because you and Lisa, you don't let employers say no. You keep hounding them until they say yes to jump on board with some of our work that's providing experiences for our students and our community. So thank you.
Well, thank you all. And you all really led this work. So we just jumped on the bandwagon. And you all were already doing good things. We're just hoping that we're going to add things to it. So I really appreciate that. That means more to me than anything. So that was really kind.
Thank you. And thanks, Lisa, for getting her here.
They don't tell me anything anymore. They're just lying behind my back all the time. They'll tell me anything anymore.
So, Samantha is one of the many partners that we have that has been involved in this work and hopefully will continue to be, and hopefully we can keep growing this work. So, okay, I'm not working, Carla. It is on. So these partnerships have allowed for us to grow pathway opportunities, dual credit opportunities, work-based opportunities, and just kind of want to remind everyone where we are with some of our pathway development. So we have an engineering program going on. We have our aviation internship experience happening that's around work-based learning. We've also added education pathways. And the reason I brought this slide up is because we're going to be looking at some data tonight, and this data has come alive, and these experiences have come alive because the Nelson County Board has said these are things of value and have allowed these opportunities and allowed us to pursue those. So, again, reminding you the aviation experience is one of those work-based learning experiences. So, next one. So, wanted to spend some time talking about early post-secondary experiences and where we are with dual credit opportunities. So this is a snapshot of last year's data. So when we ended last school year, we had over 1,000 dual credit courses completed within Nelson County schools. We had over 400 students enrolled in a dual credit course. I want you to recognize, I see you kind of made it a little bit larger. This is a 52% increase from the 17-18 school year. We had 87 students that received the Work Ready Scholarship. So this is the scholarship that allows for 2 free CTE dual credit courses a year. So our students can graduate high school with 8 free CTE credits that are in approved pathways that are aligned to those high-demand, high-wage jobs in our region and state. We had 160 students receive the dual credit scholarship. So that is the scholarship. I believe they get 2 courses throughout their high school experience, and those are for general education courses. That'd be your English, math, science. So 160 students received that. And then we had 38 students graduate with 12 or more credits. So our hope is that we will see that 38 greatly increase over the next several years as we go into more in-depth conversations around early college pathways, and then also recognizing we do make make the Associates of Arts, Associates of Science program available that is offered through Elizabethtown Community and Technical College. So this is kind of a snapshot of last year. So let's take a second on the next slide, and what I can give you for this year is where we are this fall semester. So for this fall semester, so that's not looking at spring semester, just this fall, we have 359 students that are enrolled in dual credit courses. Our partners are Elizabethtown Community and Technical College, Murray State, University of Louisville, and Western Kentucky University. Those are our major partners. What's available through the University of Louisville, Murray, and Elizabethtown Community and Technical College is coming alive through those pathway opportunities that we are offering our students. So tonight, we're going to take some time to visit with some of those students that are a part of those, and then also recognize our teachers, because we have many teachers in this district that have adjunct status, so they are actually serving as that dual credit college instructor. Then we also have many students that are doing those online courses, but we know that it takes time and effort for our own teachers to become adjuncts, so we're going to have some time to spend with them. Our workforce leaders, David Mudd, Amber Godey, have worked extremely hard on ensuring kids are getting the right courses they need and connecting with the right post-secondary partners. Our counselors have also been at the table in that discussion. So at this time, Amber Godey's not with us because we're hoping she's going to have a baby soon. We still don't have a baby, but we're anxiously awaiting with her. But we have Fiona Downey, who is here tonight, and she's going to spend a little time just kind of updating you on some of our students and then our teachers who are taking part in this journey.
I've got lots of Kentucky cred going on, so I apologize if I start coughing or anything like that. I've been sick all break. Like Ms. Laura just shared with us, ECTC did visit Nelson County the Friday before we left for fall break, and they have met with our students and have registered many of our students for the spring semester. We're hoping to invite the ladies back, the admission counselors back from ECTC, because we have several of our younger students, our sophomores, that are very much interested in taking classes for the spring semester. So I think Amber and I did a really good job with our upperclassmen getting them to meet with the ladies from ECTC, but we do want to bring them back so in case that we did miss some of our younger students. So currently our number is 359 students that are enrolled, not just with ECTC, but some of our other partners. I do expect that number to grow for the spring semester. Amber and myself and teachers at the high school, we do encourage students not only to use their dual credit scholarship, but they're also, many of our students are eligible for a work ready scholarship. They can actually start using their work ready scholarship as early as a freshman in high school. And many of our freshmen, with partnership with our ATC teachers, are actually taking advantage of the work ready scholarship. So in addition to their dual credit scholarship that they can use for 2 classes for junior or senior year, the work ready scholarship classes can actually start, and they get 2 of those starting as early as a freshman in high school. So we're really excited about that. And many of our ATC courses have came on board this year, and we're able to offer additional classes. We started, I believe, in 2 areas last year at the ATC, and this year we have added several other classes. So we're really excited about that moving forward. At this time, I would like to bring up Brianna Woodward. She is a student at Thomas Nelson, and I'd like for her to share her experience with you all.
So I started taking dual credit classes as a sophomore at Thomas Nelson. I'm on my sixth one this year, and at the end of my junior year I'll have 16 credit hours through ECTC. And right now I'm taking criminal justice and accounting because those aren't offered at Thomas Nelson, and that's really the pathway I want to take. I want to be a forensic accountant growing up. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
So are you a junior this year?
Yes, sir.
So at the in this year, you'll have 16 hours is what you're predicting.
Yes, sir.
So that's a semester of college down.
Yes, sir.
Which costs how much if you weren't doing this?
Probably a lot.
So as a parent who wrote checks for the past 3.5 years to UK, that's about $12,500 at a public university in Kentucky. UK, U of L, most of them are estimated at $26,000 a year. So you just say mom and dad, 12 to 13, yes? Oh, we did lots of happy dances, mom, in our house. But not just that, it's given you an opportunity to be able to see now in your high school years what your interests are, what you want to do. You said forensic accounting?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And so you've already got an inkling of what that might look like. So then whenever you get into college, you can either say, yes, that is me, or maybe that's not me. Maybe I really enjoy this more now. And that way then you're not spending that first year, spending $26,000 of mom and dad's money, right? Going, that really was what I wanted to do after 1 year of college. So, I mean, you're to be commended for that. That's very smart movement on your part.
Thank you.
Good job, Mom.
Okay, the next student I would like to recognize and have come up and speak with you all is Maki Tanalis. She's a junior at Nelson County High School.
Hi, my name is Michaela, and I'm a junior at Nelson County High School, like Ms. Downey said. I'm involved with not only dual credit and as well as work-based learning as well. I'm with NPR as an accountant, and not only taking dual credit classes and like working as an accountant right now is helping me know like what I really want to do in the future, because co-oping as an accountant helps me know if I really if I enjoy being an accountant. So, yeah, and as of right now, I have 20, if I finish by spring, I should have 26 hours of dual credit. So, yeah, I'm not wasting a lot of money.
A year of college under your belt, and you're just going to be getting ready to go into your senior year of high school.
Yes, I plan to graduate with an associate's degree once I graduate high school as well.
Make sure you do the accounting correctly too, or Brianna will come over there and do some forensic accounting.
Yeah. Actually, in the spring, I plan to take political science, I think, and intro to business and intro to accounting.
So you've got high school classes.
Yes.
You've got dual credit classes. Some of them online.
Yes, I'm taking right now. I'm taking 3.
And you are co-oping at NPR.
Yes.
How do you keep all of that in order?
It's hard, trust me. I tend to procrastinate. You can ask Miss Underwood.
What's your biggest challenge? It sounds like procrastination and time management, and that's good advice to anybody else that's wanting to try and do what you're doing.
But as of right now, I think I'm doing pretty good with my time management. I have all A's so far. Yes.
I'd say you're doing pretty good.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little about how NPR is treating you?
NPR is great. She actually works at NPR.
Are you trying to get like some corporate espionage?
I can vouch, she does a very good job. They are very pleased with her at work.
No, I'm sure she's doing fine. I'm asking her how.
Yeah, sit down.
I'm working with accounts payable, and I think they're going to change me over to accounts receivable sometime this week, and then move on to payroll. So I'm learning a lot. Yeah.
So what you're doing in the office, you're learning all aspects of accounting.
Yes.
And being stuck in one little payables or receivables or whatever.
Yeah. They want me to know everything about accounting so that I can like have more skills.
Yeah, because there's a lot of
Good. Is that area, that career path, is that something that you've been interested in, like business accounting, CPA, something like that?
Yes, I actually plan to be a lawyer, but have to be like an accountant while I'm going to law school. So
you can do your own books. You don't have to worry about another one doing your books.
Yeah.
That's good. That's a good thought too. I like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very impressive. Thank you.
Thank you.
Lockie, so yeah, we'd like to give you guys a little token of our appreciation. Get this thing right here. We'll go. Come here, Miss Downey. I got it. You got it?
It's not going to be as good as Miss Whitlow, I can tell you.
You're right, the angle's on good to go. Yeah. There we go. You guys. Thank you guys. That's great. There we go.
Thank you.
Ms. Dowser, just real quick, as a parent, and I'm sure there would be other parents, even though they're not at Nelson County High School, that would say the same thing. Work you and the other staff within the Career and Guidance Office in Nelson County, same thing at Thomas Nelson. As a parent who has a sophomore son, who sometimes I wonder, can he remember to, brush his teeth? Being able to feel so trusting and so confident in what you all are doing for the students takes a huge load off of my mind. I mean, he came home last day of school before fall break and said, oh yeah, by the way, I took care of getting my classes set up for the spring. And oh yeah, remember Dad, you were asking about the bill? I forgot to tell you, I already had taken care of some of that back a couple weeks ago. We may owe a little bit, but I already took care of the rest of it. I mean, the work that you all are doing to help those students, even on those life skill pieces, just to be responsible for it, that's huge, and it's greatly appreciated what you do.
Thank you. I'll be honest with you. These students are inspiring to me. Your son is. All of them are so inspiring. I'm looking out at, and they're amazing. I've got parents here tonight of children that are vested, and it's just amazing to see the possibilities. And I think it all goes back to, and I know that the ladies and Mr. Mudd at Thomas Nelson, is, along with myself and Ms. Godey and Kara at Nelson County, it's all about what's best for students, putting students first. And as far as scheduling goes, it's kind of like my passion but my worst nightmare at the same time. But it's all about making it work for what's best for students. And that's what keeps me going. That's what gets me up every day.
Well, this is one of, I consider, it's just like with the ATC in past years, it's kind of been a hidden gem within our community, the opportunities that students have there. This is also kind of a hidden gem for us as a community, because there are still lots of parents that don't really understand that concept of dual credit. What does that mean, and what could that mean for my child? And even if that child doesn't want to go to college eventually, them having certain experiences may help them decide what career they want to go in.
Absolutely. And I'm all about experiencing and keeping doors open for students.
Appreciate what you do.
At this time, we would like to recognize some of our dual credit adjunct teachers, both at the high school levels and also at our area of Nelson County ATC. At this time, when we call your name, if you could come forward, and we have a token of our appreciation for all the hard work you do. Claire West, agriculture teacher at Nelson County High School. Jeannie Underwood, history teacher at Nelson County High School. Get out of the way.
Mr. Chuck Hall, he's our electrical teacher at the ATC. Mr. Charlie Cantrell, he's our IT instructor at the ATC. Mr. Scott Sheardmore, he is a math teacher at Thomas Nelson High School. Miss Missy Mills, she's our new engineering teacher at the Nelson County ATC.
Did you say engineering?
Yes, ma'am.
Way to go.
Yes.
Girl power.
Yes.
And Mr. Chris Brown, heating and air teacher, instructor at the Nelson County ATC. Thank you all so much for all the work you do and what you allow our students
to accomplish.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Scott, I think you can get in the back row. If you guys step this way a little bit, there you go. Because the light keeps hitting the, there we go. Nice.
And if you can't see his phone can't see your face.
Oh, Brett's got this under control. Right?
You got that new fancy phone.
2, 3. You guys look great. Nice. Thank you guys. Thank you.
Fine crew there. Thank you. Good job,
I'm Davey Budd. Most of you had in class or taught with or got to be neighbors, so I really appreciate the opportunity to come tonight and celebrate. I think it's important to celebrate our students. I agree with Miss Downey. Nobody works harder than Miss Downey, I can tell you. I've been fortunate enough to be with her for 25 years, and Miss Underwood, and you guys are the reason why we have such a terrific school system. So I appreciate it. Let's give it up. We also get to celebrate our students, and I have invited Mr. Brandon Ballard. I'm going to let them speak. I think it's better to hear their story and their experiences with work-based learning. Brandon, come on up. But just as he comes up, he represents one of the 184 seniors as well. Caitlin and Kenny, do you want to come up as well? I want to kind of celebrate Caitlin and her story. You guys got to come up here. So this year, we're approximately 52% of our students are in work-based learning experiences, and I'll kind of share here in just a second some of those different experiences, but up from 22% last year, and it's really growing. Actually, students are coming to us now and saying, hey, how can I do, literally, how can I do what Brandon's doing? Some student came up to me last week, because he has a very unique schedule that, getting back to what Ms. Downey was talking about, schedules have become much more individualized, right? Before it was like, how can we put 35 students here, 35 there? Now it's how do we get this one student with this one opportunity for this one gift that they have that they really want to share with the world, and it's amazing when we get them out there what they can do. We got to go to Hart Memorial, and I can tell you, I came out inspired when we came. You definitely got to share. I want Caitlin to share her story, but I think that it's the ideal getting our students out and having those real world experiences and those partnerships that we talk a lot about. It's real, and those. I think for me, one of my big takeaways was they were benefiting more, right, as well. It was such a win-win situation. Like one of the students wasn't there because they were on fall break at Barstown, and they were calling them to know where they were, right? They had already got that attached. They were concerned about, their students, for our students, so really appreciate that. I got to stop by Brandon's work, and they're just sticking that top there with the owner. Artie Rose has a truck, service truck, waiting for him. Brand new, awesome. And he just talks about, took him to the welding shop, showed him how to weld aluminum. He said first day he's been welding ever since, the aluminum, which is really difficult to do. And I think again, we got to give those students those opportunities. They will shine. They will surprise us, given that opportunity. So, Brandon and Caitlin, I'm going to turn it over to you all. Just going to kind of step out. Whoever wants to go first, ladies first. So, Caitlin, explain what you're doing at Hart Memorial, and then I'll come back and kind of finish up.
Like he said, I go to Hart Memorial in the mornings. It was like kind of shocking that they were going to let us go to the hospital because you've got teenagers. They usually don't let that happen. And first concern was like us driving over there, 12 of us going over there. So they actually provided a bus for us. They bus us over there every single morning. We go there first through third period, and they make 2 rotations. We get a week in each rotation. I've been in ICU, progressive care unit. I've been in the emergency room. I'll get to go to the NICU next week. And we basically shadow like different aspects. Like I've shadowed monitor techs, I've shadowed RNs with their BSNs, PCAs. It showed me a lot, helped me mature a lot and see what's actually going on. And it's actually
provided me a job. They offered me a job as soon as I turned 18 there. And with that, they'll give me payback on my schooling. And they'll help me get my RN. As soon as I get my RN, they'll pay for my BSN fully. And if I want to get my MSN, they'll also pay for that. Because I've talked to management, I've always asked, like, every single person I've shadowed what they would do differently with their college and all that, and they've given me, like, really good feedback and stuff. And I didn't know what I wanted to do when I first went there. I knew I wanted to be in healthcare. There's so much to do, but I really fell in love with the emergency room, so I think that's what I'm going to do.
So you've already got the answers to the test, so to speak. They've already told you, here's what we're going to do for you, just please turn 18 and remember us.
Yeah, they offered me a job when I was 18 because vocational gave me the opportunity to get my CNA last year, so I got that fully paid for. We got that through Signature Healthcare in town. And along with that, I do dual credit too. I'll have 18 hours when I graduate. I'll drive to ECTC all day next semester, and I'll get my anatomy and physiology. I'll be able to get my RN in like a year. And then they'll pay for my BSN fully. I'll get that too.
You're saving them money then, right?
Yeah, basically. I think they're saving more money than I'm saving them though, and I'm grateful. I think that's pretty much it.
Thanks for sharing. Thank you.
All right, I'm Brandon Ballard. I'm a senior at Thomas Nelson. And this year my schedule, Mondays and Tuesdays I'm at school for 3 periods taking dual credit classes. And then Wednesday, Thursdays, and Fridays I'm at Ironworks co-op and all day.
Tell us a little bit more about that Ironworks.
Well, at Ironworks, I start at 7, so I get there at 7 every morning. And then most days, I'm in the service truck going to Louisville to different jobs, working all day, coming back. And then some days I'm in the shop, so it really just depends on what we have going on.
So talk a little bit more about what Mr. Miller was talking about. Okay, I mean, service truck, got your name on it. I mean, is this kind of a similar story in that they're just waiting and saying, don't forget us?
Yes, sir. He's done told me, he said, as soon as high school's over, that I'm in. And he was actually wanting me this next semester, if I could have my credits right, where I could just work full time and go from there. But I'm going to stick to taking some dual credit classes.
And that's where your passion is. You enjoy what you're doing there, you enjoy that environment, and you're already counting down the days to May whatever, June whatever, to say, okay, I'm ready, let's do it.
Yes, sir.
What have you learned about yourself doing this work?
7 o'clock comes early.
Real early.
What do you see for your future?
Well, through this job, I see my future hopefully having my own business one day. I've learned a lot through it.
And you can hire that young lady to do your
Brandon, Caitlin, thank you all so much for sharing your story. Inspiring.
Like the cameras are really tight. 1, 2, 3. Thank you guys. Thank you.
Oh, before we go back to that real quick. Oh my gosh, we talked about a treat yesterday. The backpack day was phenomenal too, by the way. You talked about a community experience. It was phenomenal to have the whole community in our auditorium. But I got to share the conversation with Mr. Dustin McCoy, with a group of we had teachers and bus leaders and cafeteria leaders and all different schools represented, and it was inspiring to hear him talk about the potential possibilities within the airport or the Bluegrass Aerospace experience, and just really, we're having a flight school next year. They're talking about our students getting their private flying license, which is just they're going to come out of high school with and I think you made a good point too, what you're talking about. They're going to know more about what they want to do, right? I think Brianna had expressed that, like she's taking classes to kind of figure out, does she like this or does she not? I think the work-based learning experience are the same. And sometimes you find out what job you don't want, right?
That's a good point, because I've always said, in high school, there are certain foundational pieces of information we all need to learn about, understand. But also, high school should be a time to find out what we want to do with ourselves, although some of us are still trying to figure it out, as well as, I know I don't ever want to have to do that job.
I think we all can say that we've had those jobs, right? So one last thing before we go, and knowing too that when we talk about, especially work-based learning, that's for all students. I think there's still the misconception, we go and talk to people that oh, it's not for college kids or this kid or that kid, or, it's not about labels, it's about all students. All students having opportunities. They all need it, right? They all need those real-world experiences, those relationships, those mentorships. It is so powerful. I've seen it. It is growing, and it's starting to, there's a little momentum. You can just feel in the air of more and more people realizing that this is authentic, it's genuine, and it's definitely, our community is going to be better.
Well, it's obvious our students enjoy it.
Yes.
Because we can hear it in their stories. But also, I'm starting to hear it from the community as well. Miss Mathis, for one, I've had conversations with her, and she's almost as excited, if not more excited about it.
That's been one of my biggest surprises. I was kind of worried about, like, when we go out, are they going to be engaged with the community? It's just, they've been waiting. Right? It's just been like, we've all been siloed. We talked about the education silo and the business silo. Well, it's, breaking those down, and we're all going to benefit for sure. So one last thing before we go, just to give you an idea of the different, next up. We have an apprenticeship program, a free apprentice to try clinical experiences, what the girls or the boys are doing at the Hard Memorial. We have co-op education, that was Brandon. Entrepreneurship, we have some students creating their own businesses. I look for Ryan Hack next year. We're really working to get him to create his own business and go out to the community. Several students experience-based work, especially in our school systems, has been really beneficial. This young man is phenomenal. I tell you, Brett is just, he saves me every Friday when we do Facebook posts and everything. He's just like, he's there for me all the time. So I really appreciate, Brett, everything you do for us. Internships, lastly, a couple more school-based enterprises. We're really working on this service learning. I know RLTC is working on creating sort of curriculum around what that might look like in the future. It's still not really not there yet, but that's coming. I see that as a real impetus in the future. So with that said, one of the fascinating things we have going on is the Land Lab. Mr. John Hammond, Claire West, we have Oliver Eads and Alex Hall are going to kind of tell us about that. However, you guys, we have an internship slide here if you guys want to click on that, and I will turn it over to you guys. So.
We don't have to have that, I guess. I'll get it. We're going to get it? All right.
It's Mr. Hammond's fault.
Yeah, we didn't do that. It was
job to do.
No. We're so busy today, He's got to come up on his phone and take my class. All right, well, I guess we'll do it. So I'm Alex Hall.
Yeah, I'm Oliver Reeves. I go to Nelson County High School, and I'd like to say something before we get started. I come in as a senior, and I wanted to do co-oping, but I didn't have any plans at that specific time. And I remember the first day we got in there in our meeting, and Miss Downey, she said, any student that already has co-op on their schedule come see me. And I had it on there, but I hadn't talked to nobody or filled no papers out, and it was on there. And I know I talked to Miss Bishop when we got it worked out, and I got to the Land Lab. And not knowing anything, I knew about it, but I didn't know exactly what it was. And I just appreciate Miss Downey giving me the opportunity to have this opportunity to do the Land Lab with the Thomas Nelson kids and some at our school.
And also Land Lab last year, I was the only junior in it last year. Land Lab kind of saved my butt last year because I had some issues with some college classes last year with things going through and whatnot. So I ended up being accepted in Land Lab last year for my the second semester, and it was a phenomenal time just being able to get in there early. So go on to the next slide. We'll start having my list up here. So this is our mission here, to develop a comprehensive learning system that promotes agricultural awareness and appreciation through application of student leads hands-on projects. So what that really means is basically us building something and then creating it. So pretty much everything we do has a plan to it. You know, we've got document after document after document after document of stuff, of what needs to be done, how much it's going to cost, who can help us get it, who do we know, or what do we have already, what can we use. I mean, there's just so much that goes into this, and there's so much we can do with this internship. So, going over to the next slide.
Land Lab Legacy goals, coming in, now they had already had goals for the prior years, like last year the students there had already made goals, but as us coming in, we had set some of our own, and we have already accomplished several of these goals. There are 5 seniors from I think there are 5 seniors in the group, but there's not quite, I think there's 2 juniors. There's 2 juniors, and but next year I imagine we'll get that worked out, and so that gives them the opportunity for 2 years. And we have contacted several community leaders and community industries to help us with our plan of action for different experiments and different ideals that the students have for their agriculture pursuits at the Land Lab, and there are several goals for next year's future there. You can go on to the next slide.
And this is just kind of the path that can get you into it. So we have essentially all of our ag classes listed here, and then we have some of the things we're going to work on and we'll talk about over the next few slides, and then we have some of the main stuff. Let's see if we can. So, you want to talk about that?
This is our enclosure. Currently we have 2 goats, and 2 sheep, and a donkey, and we're working on other things. But this enclosure here, this is where all the animals stay, and we have spent days upon days upon days just getting that suitable for the animals, and many different things, like just taking care of it. And I know we have a structure in there where the animals can go in and get protection from the weather, and I just know this. I enjoy going out here and seeing the animals, working with them, feeding them, and the structure, this enclosure is a great.
I'll talk a little bit more about it.
And when you talk about enclosure, you're talking about that fenced-in area that's around that water retention basin?
Yeah. So we actually got lucky. That was there beforehand, obviously. Originally it was intended to keep people out of the structure. Because you can see this is actually a very old picture. There is a complete mess around that pond. We have done so much since this picture. We're going to try and get a new picture on there, but we couldn't get it drawn up today, so it's fine. But there's been a lot done, and so right here we have the structure Oliver was talking about. There was a structure right here at one point that was older, so we took that down. Well, Glenn took it down for us, but things happen, so we built a better structure here, and they have cleaned up. It looks really ratty all through these areas in this picture. The animals have cleaned up so much, we've cleaned up so much, it almost looks like a nice forest at this point versus this kind of brushy land you see in this photo. So
the water also irrigates the fields when it's cool.
Yeah.
That's the water retention basin that was required whenever all that was constructed, but we ended up doing it for the watering of the fields to save on water, I think.
It's also nice. Now there's some natural fertilizer.
There you go.
All right, you go. Yeah. So right here you see a picture of all of this is the current class, and what you're seeing here is we're clipping hoofs. So we have 2 goats that we have, Bonnie and Lily. I think that's Lily in that picture. I'm pretty sure it is. They look pretty much the same. So it's really hard to tell the difference from a picture. But they're older goats. They're I believe they're 8 years old now, right? Yeah, about 8 years old. So they're getting to the end of their life a little bit, but they were show goats. So
Don't taste good, right?
Yeah. So anyways, so they're older, like I said, they were show goats, so they're very, very gentle. They're very great for us to learn on. I mean, once you have a hold of their horn, they're just going to sit there and let you do pretty much whatever. Let you trim their hoof, let you pet on them. So they're great animals to have around and kind of just learn the basics on. They've taught us a lot. So.
Now this is actually the second day, I believe. The second day of the land lab, we was already getting in there and having that opportunity to learn.
That was definitely the first week.
Yeah.
They taught you a lot.
Yeah. So this is actually a picture from last year, and this created a fun weekend, if you will. So that is a baby sheep. We did not know we had a pregnant sheep in the enclosure. So a student came in to feed, and there was a baby goat on the ground and some afterbirth. So we end up having a quite eventful day of getting some milk for this baby because the mother did not take. It was her first baby. So, it was a very, very good learning process. There was a lot of reaching out to the community partners to get help with this goat, and it ended up all working out in the end. We still have the goat. It's running around doing just fine. So,
what's this one?
What did we end up doing? Flower, yeah. Flower.
What's that skunk?
This is the donkey, Tom. He's come a long way. I know Caitlin, this is Caitlin Hess. She's worked with him from day one. And, he was kind of timid in the beginning, but now, a lot of times you sit there and he'll come up to you and you can pet him. And I know Caitlin has enjoyed having an opportunity to work with Tom there. But they've had that last year, I think they named it. And
General Tom.
But I know she's enjoyed that.
He's become very gentle. Now he'll rub up on your back sometimes. Used to, he would stand off away from us and kind of watch us until we filled his food bowl. He'd come eat, you'd come up, try and pet him, he'd go away. Now he's just a loving creature, so it's great. So, and so what you see here, that's Kayla. I can't ever remember which one, so it's all right. So that's a Kayla. So what you see her doing is a fecal float. So what's happening in this picture is we took a sample of the goat's feces and we're checking for worms and other parasites and different things like that. So this so far everything we've talked about, that's the ag part, the straight ag, the crops, the animals in the field. This is the more scientific approach. Some of the other sides you might not think about when you think agriculture. This is just, it shows you some of the many great paths we have with this internship. It shows you just how broad we can get with it. So. And then this right here, this is the very beginning of our hydroponic system. Some of you might have seen this. I know I took a group and talked about it a lot, but this is the very, very beginning. What you're seeing there is our plants just starting. They're about this tall in that picture. Right now they're about this tall and just huge bushing pieces of lettuce. So, it's come a long way, and this is something I've learned that I really enjoy. This is something I learned from this. I was interested in hydroponics. I'd read up on some before, but getting this system, we actually got this system to beta test for a company. So this was sent to us completely free with some instructions, and we had to take some pictures and everything, but in the end we get this for free and we get to keep using it. So it's been a great experience for me. I've learned a lot, and I've really, really enjoyed this. It's just, I never would have thought about this last year in Land Lab. Even from, a 6 months time change, new things are happening. New things are happening every day with us, so you can go through it.
I know this is Thomas Nelson. They got a soybean field. We got a soybean field out in the back of the school there, and they have took samples here and entered them in the state contest. And I don't know. I didn't follow up with that. Did y'all place any?
It's hard to beat Eastern beans, but we didn't do bad. They were decent soybeans. They sadly not state fair winners. We're not there yet. We're not. So. All right.
You'll get there.
We'll get there eventually. So anything else you want to talk about specifically?
Well, I know I will say, Nelson County Schools, Thomas Nelson, Nelson County High School, I know it has given the ability to several students and to come and learn different things. And I think we're privileged to have a place like the Land Lab to come and enjoy the internship that we learned. I know I view as an internship as something you do to further your knowledge and something you would like to do in the future. I know there are several things we do, like just as simple as sitting down in class and just planning your event or your, not event, but your project like page for page. And I know we spend like 2 days a week on our visioning program. Visioning is what we call it. And you know, Mr. Hammond, I couldn't imagine a better teacher or a better person to lead us through this land lab. I know he's done a great job with us, I think.
I mean, like you said, this is one of the greatest experiences. You know, I have one of the AB schedules, Mr. Rudd kind of talked about. So I'm in Thursday Tuesday and Thursday, I'm in land lab for 4 periods a day instead of the 2 periods that Oliver here has 5 days a week, and 3 days a week I co-op up at TNT Feed and Seed. So it kind of goes along with that ag stuff. But I mean, it's great. I mean, I really wanted to co-op this year, but I couldn't leave land lab behind. There's just too much that I can do with this. There's just too much that I can do with this. I mean, there's just, like we said, we only showed you a few of the projects that could be done, and probably about half of what we're currently working on. I mean, in reality, we pretty much have unlimited resources here, infinite opportunities. With as much land as we have and how willing people are to help when you have a vision. When you have a visioning slide and you show somebody what you want, they're going to help you. I mean, they're going to try their best to help you. I mean, we can get grants left and right for things because of how well we can put out what we want to do. So, all right. Any questions?
Thank you.
And I told Mr. Hammond next year if he gets some pigs in my calendar mapping, I can give up an hour or so a week and go help with the land lab.
Bacon is one of the 3 B's.
You guys, Hammy, you got to get in the middle of these guys. Yeah, get in the middle. What awesome work. Powerful stuff, guys. Yes, powerful. Yeah. See the skate.
Is it this way? I mean, I just have to say, I mean, what you all do with both FFA programs is tremendous. I mean, I was never really FFA myself, but kind of holds a close piece to me with my father. And the 2 of you, whatever you want to do, you're going to be successful at just by listening to the way you presented yourself and the passion that you all show.
If you ever need a tour guide, you can take Alex because he's phenomenal.
You all are going to be fine.
His passion, though, yeah, it comes through. Yeah, that's awesome. So we had one last little celebration tonight. This person would never let us do this. But part of our conversation tonight obviously has come as a byproduct of the work that Ms. Arnold's been leading. And just recently, Ms. Arnold was nominated for a state CTE award. She won the award. So she was not only did she win the state of Kentucky award, she also won for the entire region. So this conversation really that she's been leading started, many people don't know this story, very few do, but probably, May of 2018, I guess it was. Yeah, May 2018, I got an email, maybe it was June, whenever, from Ms. Arnold, and it said something along the lines of, so she was asking about this workforce development role. And it said Associate Commissioner of Education, Department of Education. I was thinking, she must just be like pursuing some inquiry for somebody else. So if you know anything about me, sometimes I ignore emails if I think that they're vendors or something. And KDE, sometimes to me, it's kind of like, oh, they must be a vendor. So I forwarded that along, and I didn't respond. And then, I was maybe, I don't know, a couple weeks later, I got a note, and somebody was like, did you get an email from this person? And I was like, yeah. And they said, she was interested in talking further about that opportunity. So I called Laura, and I didn't know Laura. If you do know Laura, you'll know she doesn't say, she's pretty brief in what she might say. So she said, she was asking me a little bit about the job, and I explained the job to her, and she goes, yep, sounds about like what I'm interested in. And
she essentially was saying that you think about the work that's going on tonight in terms of building a variety of real experiences for kids that go beyond the scope, the academic scope of schools traditionally assumed. And you think about these students that sit up here and talked about, I've learned a lot from my experiences at the hospital. I've learned a lot from my experiences at NPR as an accountant, working in different fields. I've learned a lot from the GOAT, right? Like those things, that is really Laura's passion. And again, she'd be very embarrassed for this. She doesn't want this to happen. But she's been forwarded on to the national conversation, and potentially over the next couple weeks, she may be the National CT Educator of the Year. We're fortunate enough that Laura's here with us. We have a gift box for you tonight. We're going to give you, it's got some candy in it if you come on up and accept this award.
I know, yeah.
Thank you for sharing your gifts.
Get over there on the sticker. Get on the sticker.
We'll turn to this community partnership side. Congrats.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Arnold, for all your hard work. We really do appreciate it. Thanks. Next is our consent agenda. This includes the treasurer's report, bills and claims, monthly financial report, balance sheet, leave of absence, minutes from previous meetings, fundraiser requests, and overnight or out-of-state billings. We have already gone through these. They were sent to us earlier. Do I hear a motion to approve this? Okay, Mr. Dickerson, thank you, and second. Yes. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carried. Next item, put people first, personnel notifications, that's to our benefit. We've got a glimpse of that. It does not need to be in motion, any action taken. Next is our dedicated to our community, which is a 2020 board calendar. I propose that we put this on hold until November, so we've got 2 more people here to help us out.
I would agree. I think that's fine to do, and that still gives us more than enough time to get it established for next calendar year.
Yes. Okay. Next item is our Innovate and Grow. This is partnership with Guthrie Opportunity Center, and that would be Miss Tiffany Paul.
So tonight, I just have something to present to you guys. No action is needed, but it is a conversation that we're currently having, and I hope to have more information at the next session. So in partnership with Guthrie Opportunity, we've opened up the conversation around work-based experiences. So Laura talked about what that looked like for a lot of our students, and we knew that we have other students that also need those opportunities, maybe with additional support and other opportunities. So I've been working with the Go Center on what that might look like, and the conversations around them supporting our efforts in this. And one of the conversations is for them to help fund a teacher that would be at their location and different facilities that they have to offer, and our students could go there throughout the day to get supports from an educator and also someone who can provide those work-based experiences at their facilities. So again, in the next couple of weeks I'll have some more details, but right now the beginning of the conversation is them helping us fund a teacher to be able to provide our students that extra support.
Sounds like a plan.
So I'll have some more details. Pretty excited about it.
Yes. Yes. We have quite a few students that can benefit from it.
And they've got 3 facilities now, the original location, the on-the-go foods, the Guthrie Roby's Garden. I mean, it's a variety of opportunities for our students.
We have a greenhouse now that they're hoping to grow all their food to supply the restaurant. So yeah, they're looking for other opportunities too.
Yeah. Great. Great. Our next is student and shareholder engagement. Bradley?
At this time, no recommendations to board calendar. We should be able, potentially for November 7th meeting, to settle on the 2020 board calendar. No action required.
Okay, thank you. Deep Learning, Chapter 8.
So, I think about tonight, and I give you guys the opportunity to table this if you so choose. The examples of deep learning that we heard, I think we probably had not had an experience this year where we've seen so many kids talking about engage the world, change the world, and change their own perception of themselves and their experiences. If you guys would like to engage in this conversation, I can set the timer for 5 minutes.
So, to follow up on what you just said there, this is one of those things where at times I've questioned myself, do I understand what Superintendent Bradley and his leadership team is trying to accomplish? And because, no, I mean that in a good way, because I'm questioning myself. I don't get it. I'm not grasping it. What am I missing? This chapter started helping me grasp it and understand it, and it's perfect timing tonight. I just want to read a couple things that I think exemplify what we saw tonight and what we're trying to do as a community, not only within our schools, but with the business community. And I won't tell you where these come from in Chapter 8. It would be too difficult to go through all that. But this growth orientation means that capacity is built through job-embedded learning that occurs over time rather than at events. The partnership personifies the notion of go outside to get better inside by creating opportunities for knowledge building that promote within school, across school, and cross-organizational connections yesterday over at the Backpack Day. Teacher leadership is amplified because they seek opportunities learned within and outside the school. Capacity building for teachers and leaders is job embedded with external inputs as needed. And there were several of these types of themes throughout this chapter that I joked with some of my coworkers that at times all of a sudden I went from the 0-watt light bulb to that 10 or 15 watt. It started to come on a little bit for me as I read through this and reflected upon the past year, a little bit over a year between Miss Arnold and the work that she's done, the administrators in each building, the work that Mr. Mudd and his partners in crime, I'll call them, have done, and what Superintendent Bradley has given us as a leadership set of directions. Go forth and we need to be doing these things. And as I continued to read through this, there were more and more of those aha moments of this isn't about, and there's one more. There's one more I do want to share very quickly that I found, and it reflects back to a conversation that we have had in this setting before. And this was one of the examples from the Ottawa Catholic School District and their experiences. And it was beginning in 2010, a collaboratively created blueprint for change focused on a cultural shift across the board, while the creation of a digital ecosystem focused more on staff and student collaboration, creativity, critical thinking, and communication. Simultaneously, the district improved infrastructure, including Wi-Fi in all schools. That's stuff that our CIO has pushed over the past couple years. Including Wi-Fi in all schools, conversion of school libraries to learning commons. That's the initiative that we've just started this year under the leadership of the district level leadership team and the school building level principals who said, yes, we're about that. We want that to happen in our library, common learning areas. Laptops for all educators, and it goes on and on. So for me, education's my background. It's what pays my salary every day. But until I started reading this and then reflecting upon things I've heard Mr. Mudd say, and Superintendent Bradley, and Miss Arnold, and listening to some of the principals, I didn't have that aha moment until we got to this chapter here. And I think this is what makes it really exciting for what we're getting ready to do over the next well, we have 7 months left in this school year? Over the next 2 years, over the next 5 years, and actually over the next 10 years too, or 18 for Amber, as we hope she gives birth sometime here soon for her little one, for them to have these opportunities. So I think this starts to, for me, really put it all together, what I'm seeing, the work that's going on by each person that's sitting in this room and those that aren't here tonight either. This is what to me makes it really exciting about what each of you are doing. So.
Seen it manifest firsthand. Examples that show tonight, the communication alone, just the delivery, presentation skills alone, and the way they describe their own accomplishments and looking forward in the future.
It's like, I mean, I could read the book, maybe understand it. I could listen to some of what we're seeing going on, maybe understand it. Now the two of them are, to me personally, it's making sense to me about what this journey is that we're on to really make some true change and to get at something other than, there's another piece in this chapter that talks about, it's more than, it's not an assessment score, it's something very different than that. And that's also something I think is very valuable for us as a district and as a community, is that, yeah, there's going to be an assessment score somewhere. But it's much more than that, it's much bigger than that, and we've got to find out what it is that we value and we know will be best for our students in the long run. I can teach anybody to take a test, but can I give them the opportunities that we're providing to them, like what we saw tonight? That's really the hard work, and that's really what it all is about, and all of you are to be commended for that, because it's exciting to me to see what's happening. We can see it. We can see it's starting to show its head over the horizon a little bit, and we just keep working, and we're going to get more and more of that picture. So, my book's starting to get a little more.
Well, I had my aha about 4 months ago. Because to me, that's what this book is about. I mean, you know, when you see kids moving from one place to another, and it's just not at school. It's not the building that's making it work. It's the adventure and the journey that makes it work. It's not. It's us giving them the leeway to make it work. And this book, even in the first chapter, that's exactly what it said. Our first priority is for our students. Your kid, my kid, grandchildren, whatever. We're in this game together. We've got to make it work for all students. I don't care if they're going to be an electrician, I don't care if they're going to be a welder, I don't care if they're going to be a farmer, ag person. That's what we're in this for, is to make life better for our students. And that's why I'm here. I want to make sure that all students in this county, regardless of what they want to be or what they think they want to be, or what they can figure out what they want to be, or what they figure out they don't want to be, that's our job. That's simply our job. And I want to make it the best we can make it. Always have. But this is where my heart is to make sure our kids get a fair shake. And that means once they leave our doors, that they are on their life journey. And I want it to work for them. Plain and simple. And this book, that's exactly what it tells you. Make it work. Any way we can. This is part of it.
Mr. Brett, if I can, one more thing. I said that, that kind of got the board, but there was one other thing, and I'd asterisked it in my book. And yes, I hate to have people read to me, but I've got to read this piece because I think it also brings some of this together, especially some of the conversation that we've started to have recently. I mean, this is assessment number release time of the year, right? So, I mean, this is what most of us in education think about, most of us in the community. We go, where's our school rank? How well did we do? How the kids do on the test? All of that. But it says, the transformation of public policy must also address the issue of assessment, discussed in this chapter and more in chapter 9, where we note that confirming the focus of teaching and learning to what is easily measurable actually narrows the teaching and learning. Education systems must look at what learning content and outcomes are important for for success in today's world. This necessitates a transformative shift in measurement tools and practices. It means developing reliable measures of deep learning as well as effective methods to capture and assess deep learning skills in the everyday work of students. And to paraphrase, the test is what we've always been talking about, but that's not the measurement that we really need to be looking at. We need to be measuring what it is that those students are actually accomplishing and achieving in their environments, in their work experiences. And that's much harder to do. It's extremely simple to take a test that the state or a book or some organization, ACT, SAT, it's easy to take that and measure. Yep, here's the score. We put them on a continuum, there they go. But to really measure the deep learning that students are doing, it takes a whole lot more work. And I know that's a piece that we're still going to have to continue to work on. It's probably the biggest challenge in this. All these great things we saw tonight, what is it that we're going to do? How are we going to be able to figure out? Is it making a difference? Is it really changing the learning opportunity for that kid and also changing what it is that they're getting out of it? To me, that's a much harder thing, I think, to assess. And that's probably going to be the next biggest challenge for us in all of this work.
Yes, but we can't assess it if we don't create it. And the good news is we're creating.
Yes.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, on to our guest comments. Thank you again for attending this evening's meeting. Individuals representing themselves are limited to 3 minutes. Individuals representing a group is limited to 5. Please step forward, state your name and address, and if you represent a group, state the name of the group you are representing. Do we have anyone?
We do have one guest I just want to honor over here as a student. Can you introduce yourself?
My name's Amy Eves. I'm a pre-service teacher with Western Kentucky University. I'm currently in the Sky Teach program. I'm a senior. I'm in my fall semester of my senior year, and I will be student teaching within the Nelson County School District next semester.
What level and?
I will be a middle grades math teacher. Yes, I am currently working as a substitute teacher in the Nelson County School District as well.
She also led yesterday during Backpack Day session. She was one of our leaders thinking about how we care for substitute teachers and what that conversation looks like.
Are you a local person?
Yes, sir. I'm from Bloomfield.
Okay. So you graduated from Nelson?
I graduated from Nelson County in 2004.
Good. Glad to have you. Welcome home.
Get quite a few principals in here that may be recruiting people.
Math teachers always have a job. Good math teachers always will have it.
Okay, with that being said, do I hear a motion to adjourn this meeting?
Motion.
Mr. Damon Jackie made the motion, and Mr. Jeff Dickerson's going to second it. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, meeting adjourned.